Hello, everyone. Welcome to the chaperone/volunteer training for the 2021-2022 school year. Make sure that if you have not applied to be an approved volunteer yet, please visit polkschoolsfl.com/get involved to fill out that application and pay the $25 for the background check. That check is good for 5 years. So if you've done that in the last 5 years, you are good to go. This is Mrs. Crosswaite, so if you have any questions after this training, feel free to contact myself or Dr. Tatum, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. There are a few of us that are exempt volunteers, are exempt from paying the background check to be a volunteer. Myself included, because I work for Polk County Schools. I don't have to pay the $25, but I still have to go online and apply. So if you are a teacher or a para, or you work for Polk County Schools and you have a child that you would like to go on a field trip with, please go on and fill out the exempt volunteer application, and the $25 background check is waived. It is also waived for any law enforcement that have a badge number or an employee student ID, high school students or university students as well. Those are exempt. And you can click on exempt volunteers in the Get Involved area. We have 3 different areas for COVID: green, yellow, and red. Depending on the time, we will be in one of those 3 colors. It's determined by Polk County Public Schools Health and Safety Committee, and there are different levels to COVID and how much we can do depending on what color we're on. So for community volunteers in a green status, it has to be scheduled in advance by the school volunteer person. You need to complete a COVID-19 questionnaire. Volunteers wear a face mask on campus and follow social distancing guidelines. During yellow area for COVID, there are only volunteers for activities that cannot be held virtually. Volunteers have to be scheduled in advance, still fill out a questionnaire, wear a mask, social distancing, and have access to areas to perform those assigned activities, and to perform those activities outside when possible. And then when we're in a red status, we cannot have any volunteers on campus. It's only virtual. This is an example of our COVID questionnaire: fevers or chills, cough, sore throat, shortness of breath, things like that. And we also take your current temperature. We have your name and date, and this would be every time that you came in or went on a field trip. Appropriate behaviors during a field trip. Make sure to reflect a positive attitude. Support decisions made by the grade level. Grade levels spend a lot of time planning these events. Of course, if you see something that could be done better, just hold it in and email or talk to the teachers after the fact. Changing everything up as the event is happening or as the field trip is happening is a little chaotic. So just kind of go with the flow and then give them feedback when it's over. Make sure you're assisting in maintaining order on the bus and during the trip. That's your job as a chaperone. It's not just to be there with your kids, but you're also helping the teachers monitor those students outside of the school. So if you see something going on that you think is not appropriate, you are more than welcome to speak up and let those kids know. Keep the safety of all of our students in your group as your main priority. So trying to stay off cell phones and things like that. There is no smoking, even in designated places when you are with the school or when you are chaperoning. No drinking adult beverages. No administering of medications, even to your child. No photography of certain students. And your teacher should know those students and who you cannot take a picture of. And no allowing your student to do something that the staff has asked them not to do. So even if you go to the playground all the time and you let your student go down the slide, if the teacher says no students down the slide, don't allow your student to do that, even though you would have let them if it was just you guys. Dress code. Shorts and skirts should be fingertip length. No spaghetti straps. If you do, just wear something over it. No pajamas. Leggings with appropriate coverings, just to make sure your leggings are not see-through, and wear appropriate undergarments. Siblings. Siblings are not invited on field trips. This includes younger siblings that are not yet in school. So if you have an infant at home or a 1 or 2 year old, they cannot come with us to the field trip. Siblings under the age of 18. If they're above the age of 18 and they want to go on the field trip, they can become an approved volunteer free of cost if they're a Polk County student and complete this training. They're more than welcome to go on the trip. Supervision of the students is your duty as a chaperone. Distractions such as cell phones should not be used unless to communicate with the teacher, parents, or for pictures. So please no playing games when you're supposed to be supervising students, and just keep it your number one priority. A big rule that I want to make sure we all understand is always stay together, come together, leave together. This includes going to the bathroom, even if it's only 100 feet away and you can see the entrance to the bathroom. Please walk with the kids to the bathroom, especially when it's a public place. A lot can happen within 100 feet and you can see it all happen, but unless you're right there to keep that child safe, there are many wrong things that can go on. So going to the bathroom, on a ride, on the bus, walking during the trip, make sure that the kids are near you at all times if you're in charge of them. A lot of chaperones usually trade off. So if you have a couple kids needing to go to the bathroom and then there's another person in another group that needs to go to the bathroom, they're more than welcome to go with you. You can switch off students if needed, just as long as someone from the school or a chaperone is with that student at all times. We're not just watching them from afar. Some tips to consider while going on a field trip: pay close attention to meeting places and times. Teachers like to plan everything right down to the minute, so even being 5 minutes late or 3 minutes late to a place could cause a lot of chaos. So please pay close attention to those times and meeting places. Field trips are on a strict schedules, like I just said. Make sure to get the teacher's cell phone number just in case of anything. Have a list of the students you're responsible for, and make sure you know the photography rights for each of those students, if they can be in pictures or if they're not allowed to be in pictures. Some new volunteer information: if you're not an approved current volunteer, there's a $25 fee to get the background check. Approved volunteers expire after 5 years and a new application must be done. I've already talked about exemptions that can be found online. Volunteering should be planned with a grade level, a teacher with PTA, or the staff in the front office. If you have not completed tasks and have no other work tasks to complete, please don't come to school and socialize with the other employees. We're very, very busy and we have a little bit of time. So once you get your things done, we can find you more things to do if you'd like. If you've done the paperwork but are not on the list to be an approved volunteer, if that's what the teacher is telling them, just please have them contact Kaylee Smith at polk-fl.net or email myself or Dr. Tatum. You must attend a volunteer training yearly and sign into the volunteer training. Completing this form and putting your name down is your signature, so we have record that you've completed this. If you would like a plastic badge, you must come into the office and take a picture, and the replacement cost for that badge is $10. But you don't have to have that unless you're coming in a lot. If you have questions, again, you can ask myself, Dr. Tatum, or Kaylee Smith, our volunteer coordinator, and her email address is down below. I hope you have found this interesting, and if you, again, any questions, just let us know. Thank you. Bye.